Ho boy, did things get ugly after the Fed meeting, guys. We have a lot to break down in this video. Of course, we're going to break down the Fed meeting, what Jerome Powell said, some key points, my thoughts, and we'll break down the stock market, how it's reacting, charts, a bunch of stocks, my thoughts. So if y'all find value, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter as well, at Stas Talk Stocks. That's free, and let's dive right into it. Cheers, by the way. I have my coffee from this morning, and of course, I have my water as well, guys. Cheers, and now let's dive right into it. So the markets were actually slightly in the green before the Fed meeting, right? The FOMC statement, the press conference, and we saw a huge cliff dive right at about 2:30. No joke, the second Powell started speaking, about a couple minutes in, whatever it was. He got on at 2:30. Market started crashing shortly thereafter. You guys can see we did get the statement at 2 p.m. And once the statement came out, SPY went from around, 443.60 to about 441.50. And as we waited a half hour for Powell to come on, we filled that gap back up. And again, once Powell came on, we dumped right back down. That didn't last at all. That rally did not last long at all. And now we ended up going down 0.9% on the day on SPY. It's completely collapsing on the intraday, completely falling through the floor on the 10-day and on the 20-day. You guys can see on SPY that descending triangle is playing out. And Triple Q is not looking any better. In fact, it's looking a lot worse. Descending triangle is playing out like we called out a couple of videos ago, a couple days ago. You guys remember that. And we have a clear dump off on the intraday. Obviously, we were at about 370 right when Powell came on, then boom, we went all the way down to 364 after the bell. So we're down 1.75, almost 2% from that point when Powell got on to where we are now at 4:07 p.m. on the East Coast, just 7 minutes after the markets closed. So we are taking a huge beating right now, and that's because, Powell says some things that we're going to talk about right now in this portion of the video. Then later, we're going to break down some stocks, just in general, the charts here. So overall, look, we're dumping off on Triple Q SPY. Obviously, that's the case. And the main thing that you guys have to realize is, not the main thing, but one of the things is we didn't get a rate hike this time around. So the Fed funds rate is at 5.25 to 5.5 percentage points right now. So we're pretty much in that same range. But now we're looking at maybe another rate hike pretty soon here. The central bank indicated that one more rate hike is expected before the end of the year in its economic projections. And the central bank signaled that it would end its hiking campaign after that increase, which is good, and begin cutting rates next year, which not so fast. I'm not buying that quite yet. They might just be saying that, and clearly the markets aren't buying it either. We'll see, though. I don't know. That's what they're saying. We'll see if it's true. And that is going to keep rates at a higher level for the year than signaled in June, which that is not good. That's, I guess, more hawkish, sentiment right there. And Powell said that the central bank would proceed carefully, quote unquote, in raising rates further. But the Fed chief also noted that they had more work to do in the fight against inflation, like I've said, or like we've heard time and time again, like we've talked about here on the channel time and time again. He always says we have a lot more work to do. We have to, look at the data. We're data dependent. It's pretty much the same script, quote unquote, every single meeting. But in this case, guys, if you read between the line and you see kind of Powell's demeanor, it's clear that inflation is probably not going to be it's more sticky, which we've known that, and there's probably going to be more rate hikes, definitely one more. And I know he's saying we're going to get a cut next year, but I don't know if I'm buying that quite yet. Rates might be higher than expected. That's kind of, or for longer than expected. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting right now. I don't know. And another thing that Powell said, which ended up just collapsing the markets, you guys probably saw this. He said that a soft landing for the economy was still possible, which of course anything is possible. So it's not that crazy for him to say that. And it's his primary objective, which is nice, but it's not his baseline scenario. When he said that, the markets ended up falling, obviously, and they just fell for the entirety of his press conference, and we covered that earlier in the video, and that really did freak them out. Like, holy crap, the markets are like, holy crap, what if we don't get a soft landing? Things, crumble right before our eyes. we got to sell off. That's kind of what we're seeing right now in layman's terms. Because a soft landing, that'd be ideal. But the reality is, guys, I mean, let's be honest, it's very difficult to do that. It's very difficult to actually pull it off. Will Powell be able to pull it off? Is he that guy? I don't know. Time will tell. The markets are clearly not liking it, though. Again, we went down all across the board. Russell down 0.9%, NASDAQ down 1.5%, S&P down 0.9%, Dow down 0.25% on the day. And yeah, I mean, those are the key points, guys. I mean, we could talk on and on and on about the Fed, interest rates, but to me, guys, at some point, at a certain point, it gets a little bit too boring. I'm not gonna lie. We get the point. We understand what's going on right now. Things could be rocky, and really, Powell, to me at least, looks a little bit more. It looks like he wants to be a little bit more aggressive and really raise rates, probably more than just once. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm off base here. But yeah, I mean, with that being said, let's take a look here at what oil ended up finishing off at, and then we'll talk about some stocks here, what ended up moving. So oil actually had a red day as well. So we were down pretty much all across the board today, guys. Oil, gold, stocks. Well, I guess the VIX went up 7%. Finally, the VIX is starting to move, but oil sold off a bit. All right, not surprising considering how much it's ran recently. So we'll cut oil some slack. And the VIX, pulling that up, that ended up going up 7%, and it's at 15. All right, still pretty low, but now it's starting to bounce off that extremely low level, which is the 8 to 10, 10 to 12 range, which we weren't in the 8 to 10 range, but we did get to 1270 on the VIX, guys. That's the 10 to 12 range, which historically, that is just ridiculously low. So the VIX needed this. Who knows if this continues? If we go 17 or 20 on the VIX, I have no idea. But we did get that spike on the VIX. It is up a good chunk in the past couple of days here. And you guys can see on the 4-hour, we're still very low on the VIX. The VIX, in my opinion, is still at a dangerously low level. And when it comes to some individual stocks, and actually before we break those down, don't forget to get your free stocks from Moomoo, guys. Up to 16 stocks, each up to $2,000. Use that link down below. Open up your account and fund it with your initial $100 deposit. You get 5 stocks right off the bat. And if you fund your account at least $1,000, you get 10 more stocks, totaling 15 stocks. And listen to this, guys. Fund your account at least $5,000 on top of those 15 stocks for a limited time. You also get a free share of either Google stock or Tesla stock, which makes this promo a no-brainer. So get on it. Use that link down below. And full disclosure, that is an affiliate link. It helps out the channel. I appreciate you guys as always. And with that being said, let's continue on here and talk about some movers in the individual stock space here, which we actually had some green today, believe it or not. Pinterest still had a green day, which Pinterest, we talked about earlier, they got a bunch of buy ratings today. They got a bunch of outperforms, price targets got elevated. So Pinterest, they got bailed out today. Other than that, guys, there wasn't much green. Somehow Disney, I guess, went green. Activision, Blizzard, to name a couple. Enphase, which we broke down yesterday. Go check out that video. And when it comes to the red stocks, guys, obviously a lot sold off. We had Apple, a lot of big tech names get slaughtered today. Apple went down 2%. It looks like this is getting rejected by the moving averages. Oof, not looking too good on the 4-hour chart. This is now approaching a big support at 175. You guys can see we have a descending triangle here as well, arguably on the 4-hour chart. So Apple's not looking too pretty. Let's see. Google down 3% today. Oof, guys, bad day for Google, but overall uptrend still holding. So relax. It's not the end of the world. We're still above the 180 SMA, but still down 3% on the day for Google. Microsoft ended up going down 2.4%. Red day for them. And what else? Meta, let's see. Meta. Let's see what's going on here, guys. Meta down 1.8% on the day. And what am I missing? Amazon, there's no way they went up. They definitely went down, obviously. Let's see, 1.7% red day for Amazon. So they got hit. All the big names out there, which on days like, today when we're red and we're down pretty big on the NASDAQ, you bet you are, these names, these stocks are not doing well. NVIDIA probably didn't do that well today, right, guys? You guys can see NVIDIA, down 3%. These companies are massive weightings when it comes to these indexes, as all of you, all you guys probably know at this point. Netflix down 2.5% on the day. it was just one of those days. And I actually just bought, funny enough, 5 minutes before the markets closed, I nibbled a little bit more of VTI, which is an index fund or an index ETF or a total stock market ETF from Vanguard or whatever you want to call it, that I've owned for a long time. And I'm going to continue to buy this every single week, guys. For my long-term investing, and of course for trading options, that's different. I mean, that's a whole other ball game. But it just goes to show where my head's at. I'm still buying, I'm still nibbling, and I'm still in this for the long term, guys. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. What are you doing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe as well. It's free, and follow me on Twitter at Stas Talk Stocks. Link down below. That's also free. And with that being said, guys, cheers. I'll catch you all in the next one.